Hello and welcome back to the development of Beyond the Darkness, and I think you guys might recognize this hallway because we used this hallway in the Valentine's video, and the same goes for this little room and this little sign. It's good to know she still loves us.
Yeah.
Well, so why are we showing you the same room with the same hallway again? Because we want to show you something else, and that something else is not visual, that is based on sound. Because, of course, you guys told us lots of times how important you think that sound effects are, and of course we totally agree with that. Because sound can enrich the world and can help the player to immerse into the story. But this time we would like to show you something that's more related to the character. Because in Beyond the Darkness, as you all know, you play as the carpenter Nicholas Wade. And, well, what would be better to flesh that character out a little bit more than sound? So from now on, if you click on certain things like interesting objects or important objects, you hear something like this.
There's nothing useful in here.
Wow, we just heard a voice line, Michael. What's that all about?
Yeah, we have added voice lines to the game. We wanted to bring the character Nicholas more to life, and I think it does a lot to the game. It really does bring the game to life.
Yeah,
It gives a better feeling to it.
yeah, exactly. It really feels like you're walking around as a real, well, as a person, and you can connect with that person a little bit better when it has a voice. And well, if you pull that a little bit, stretch that out a little bit more, then it's not only a voice, it's also a personality and an opinion and a way to look at certain things. Like, for example, looking at those paintings.
Somehow, I just get so impressed each time. So realistic and so true to the actual place.
So, yeah, this is really nice, and it really enhances the character. So we have now a voice actor, and not only do we have a voice actor for Beyond the Darkness, we also have this same voice actor in the video right now, and he's waiting for us to release him. So I'm going to introduce Libor Lochman to the show. Libor, welcome.
Hi, it's really good to be here.
Hey, yeah, it's really good to have you here. So I'm pretty sure that all the viewers are at least a little bit curious about what kind of person you are and how you try to record yourself and to do voice lines for the character Nicholas. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself to start with?
Sure, well, I consider myself a young and energetic person. I'm an expat living in the Netherlands, so just like the two of you guys. And in my daily life, I do far from acting of any sort. I work in what you could call a pretty corporate world. But apart from that, I try to focus also on on my interests, on my hobbies. I've always been a huge sports fan and always been a fan of video games, which definitely helps when being involved in a project like this.
Yes.
I can imagine. Yeah, I have to say it was really fun to make voice lines with you. And well, let's look at another voice line you recorded for us.
Ah, no. Julia's not going to like this.
So that's the voice line of the breaking a vase. So yeah, I have to say that must have been fun to record at least. I mean, how does it sound now if you break something in your apartment?
Yeah, you can say that it's inspired by real-world events. Well, I mean, I try not to break too many things, but I have to say that sometimes I'm pretty clumsy, so a bit of Nicholas comes out every now and then.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, did you have any experience with voice acting before you started with us?
I would say not voice acting in the strict sense of the word, but I've been in some plays before, and I've always been a fan of acting because it was a childhood dream of mine. So I always try to be involved in it somehow. So yes, I would say the plays, but this is my first role within voice acting.
Okay. Well, I think it's a good start, and of course, as you all know, Michael and I are not professionals either. I mean,
No,
far from
not
it.
at all. Yeah, we
But-
started this without any experience. It's good to have Libor in a team who is also inexperienced in his field, so it
Yeah,
really adds up to it.
yeah, we can grow and develop ourselves together, and that's I think that's a lot of fun, and that's a good cause because nobody is way more experienced than the other, and we're all kind of on the same level with this. So let's listen to a voice line about the weather, and maybe this is also based on real life events.
That storm has been going on for a while. I just hope I don't have to go outside.
I think since you live in the Netherlands as well, I guess you recognize that voice line.
Yeah, that's basically me every morning when it's raining and I have to go to work.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you quickly realize that you actually do have to go outside.
Yeah, that's the downside, I guess.
Yeah.
So, when doing these voice lines, do you do it as Nicholas Wade and you don't do it as Libor? So, could you tell us a little bit about Nicholas from your perspective?
Yeah, I think when it comes to any character that any person is introduced, same as when you're meeting people in real life, it doesn't take so long. It only takes a couple of minutes, and you start creating an idea of how that person is. And I think my approach to characters is the same. I try to take that first impression and build off of that to generate an idea of what the character is like. And something that I could see immediately when I was introduced to Nicholas Wade as a character is that he's really a down-to-earth guy. He doesn't tend to overthink things. He takes them as they are, and he is also very involved and very passionate about things that he cares about. And in this story, it's really his wife Julia, who is going through a tough time, and he's willing to do really anything to help her get better. And as he embarks on that adventure, he comes across things that he's probably not going to think too much of, but since he's quite an open person, that impacts his development because he comes across these things, and what I'm hoping to have come across is that he develops as a person. His perception starts changing, and he's probably going to end up a little bit different than he started.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's quite interesting, I have to say, because I think I speak for Michael as well that we don't have a lot of experience with voice acting, at least not maybe for the breaking part, the breaking fast. It might be some moments. But for Libor, as a voice actor, how do you work? Do you is there like a switch when you start recording? Is then the Libor switch off and the Nicholas switch is on, or does it intertwine, or is it? Do you feel on normal days sometimes a little bit like Nicholas, or how does it feel for you?
I have to say that I think that's the beauty of working on a project like this, where already you guys started as a small team, and you have developed a world together, and that's something that you can see that everything is handcrafted, and that's kind of my wish for portraying the character as well, to really handcraft everything into him becoming a person. And the first thing that I tried to do was to create a connection between myself and basically my counterpart that I'm trying to portray. So me and Nicholas trying to find the common points, like being down to earth, maybe sometimes witty with comments. But what I find important is to sometimes really let go of the person that I am, and during the time that I'm spending on the recordings, to become Nicholas, to let him take over, and see myself living in that world. And what I sometimes compare it to is speaking foreign languages. Because what I try to do when I speak a different language is to always also in my head think in that language. So when recording, I try to think as Nicholas. I don't try to think as, okay, what would Nicholas say in this situation? But I try to have that as a natural process instead.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, wow. That's quite interesting. Let's listen to another voice line to finish it off.
Julia's father was a passionate collector of these. This must be one of his showcases.
So yeah, as you guys can hear, there is still a lot going on in the pipelines, and of course I still want to say that this level is of course not a final level. It's just a test level we made. We very quickly put together to give you guys a little bit of the feeling what it's gonna be like, and the same goes for the voice acting lines. That's also better quality, but at least you guys know that we now have a voice actor, and a lot of things are going on in the pipelines, and we are still developing the game, but of course it's gonna take a long time. But nevertheless, I want to thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you back in the next video, and who knows what more interesting and amazing things we can show you. But until then